Our Across the Aisle segment tonight, Democrats must want to keep losing. That's what you would think if you saw the reaction from liberals towards Mark Penn after Penn wrote a column titled, "Back to the Center, Democrats." Penn is a former pollster for Hillary Clinton, and he says if Democrats want to win, they'll need to adopt more moderate positions. But now that the radical left runs the Democratic Party, is that even possible? With me now, attorney and Democratic strategist Adam Sostrin. Adam, good to see you.
I like how you opened that. Good to see you, Liz.
All right, Adam, what do you think? Should the Democratic Party shift back towards the center?
Well, I think it sort of depends on, which district you're at. I think it makes sense always to sort of tailor how you do things depending on, where you are. If you're going to do a sort of a smart political calculation about it. As far as nationwide, I think with respect to both groups, there's the Clinton wing and then there's the Sanders wing. Both groups in certain ways have made strides, but it is true that perhaps there should be some movement to the center.
Right, and I guess I'm talking about the overarching picture here, the Democratic platform of the party itself, not candidates in individual districts. The Democratic Party platform has shifted, and it was a fascinating article by Mark Penn. I encourage our viewers to go read this. I mean, he was talking about how in the early 1990s, the Democratic Party shifted to the left. They moved away, I guess, from some of the moderate policies towards identity politics, the idea of equal outcome instead of equal opportunity, and government being the solution instead of the individual. That was sort of the party that was before Bill Clinton and then afterwards became more radical. Do you think as a national party it should move back to being more moderate?
Well, I think sort of what happened with Bill Clinton in the 90s was there had to be some change with respect to the House leadership and Newt Gingrich and how Newt and Bill got together, and then they tried to come up with some compromise policies. But I think that there are ways for the Democrats today to move forward. Absolutely. I think that with respect to taxes, with respect to healthcare, Trump's not doing well with healthcare. With respect to the issue of Russia. The Dems have that issue because, even internally in the Republican Party, the Republicans are divided with respect to Trump on Russia. They're divided with respect to Mr. Trump on international trade. And then, and obviously, the Republicans aren't able to sell the health care. So I think that, we can talk about these side things. And of course, I disagree with certain identity politics. I love watching South Park. I watched just the whole season of South Park, and that's what the whole thing was about. I absolutely agree that we shouldn't have that sort of identity.
Well, let me be more specific. And I'll ask you some questions about the current Democratic platform. And like you said, there is a divide between the Hillary wing and the Bernie wing, but this is a combination of both, I think, that's becoming the overarching platform. I mean, do you, as a mainstream American Democrat, a liberal, do you agree with a 90% tax rate for the very rich?
A 90% tax rate for the very rich. The more you go towards, to Sanders, and you go to a single payer, and you go to free education and things like that, I don't think that is the majority of the Democratic Party. There was even a poll done with respect to, how many people considered themselves, absolute liberals. I think it was like, less than a quarter. And I think most of the people that responded identified themselves as being more moderate. So I think that there's a lot of hope for the Democratic Party.
That's the point. That's the point of the article. I mean, I think you contradicted yourself, but I'm not opposed to it because I think the second thing you said is encompasses more common sense here. The 90% tax rate, that's something the Democrats are starting to push. They're starting to push a higher minimum wage. I mean, they're starting to push more socialist ideas here. And I think you're exactly right. The majority of the American people don't agree with those types of policies. If the Democratic Party wants the votes of the American people, don't they need to move more towards what the people think instead of trying to convince the people to believe more socialist ideas?
Well, I think there's a lot of room for certain reasonable outcomes that we have a party can go forward on with respect to immigration. We can do sort of and I agree with the columnist the other day who wrote that article, sort of a reasonable path to citizenship, things like that. Do we have to have walls? These are things that the Democrats can sort of get behind that are reasonable. Other things,
Why aren't they then?
Why aren't they what?
Why aren't Democrats getting on board with that then?
Well, I think plenty of them are and will be. You know,
who's on board with Trump's immigration plan? Even though 6 out of 10 Americans
I'm
agree
not
with
talking,
Trump's immigration, what Democratic elected official is?
I'm not, in no way did I say that the Democrats were in favor of Trump's immigration plan. But what we're talking about is a path towards citizenship, and I think Democrats are for that. And Democrats are also not for the wall that Trump wants. What I'm saying is there are certain uniting factors that the Democratic Party has that the Democrats will be able to use against Trump because Trump has failed so much on these issues when it comes to the midterm elections in 2018.
So are you saying that you think that the Democratic platform in 2018 or maybe even 2020 should just be the party of no, the opposition party to President Trump?
No, I don't think so. But if you look at 2010 and 2014, the Republicans were in a lot of ways the party of no. They got majorities by saying, you know, we don't like this Obama. And the same thing, in a way, can occur with the Democrats.
Right, but when that happened in 2008 and when that happened in 2016, the Republicans lost the presidency when they were just the party of no. It wasn't until President Trump in 2016 that he actually ran on a platform that wasn't just anti-Obama. He promised the American people, you know, things that would make our lives easier, that would take the burden off of our back.
Liz,
I mean, if you don't have a platform, your party doesn't really stand a chance.
No, Liz, what I'm saying is, you know, it worked for the Republicans to be the party of no. I think the Democrats, in certain ways, are going to be able to prevail in a lot of ways because of the failures of Trump. And you can call that no, but, you know, on taxes, on health care, on immigration, the Democrats have so many winning positions. You can call it the party of no, but in a way, Trump has been such a failure that saying no to Trump
it's been 125
could
days.
help. It's been, you're right. You know,
it's been 125 days. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
He's just done so many things.
It's too early, I think, to make
days.
any predictions for 2018 or 2020. But I think if you're going to run as an opposition party, you have to have something else that you have to offer. And Mark Penn, I thought, made an excellent point. He said if you want to be presenting something that the people will like, you have to actually get on board with what the people want. The current platform of the Democratic Party is too extreme. They're not going to be able to say, Trump failed on tax reform, but let me offer you a 90% tax rate for the rich. No one is going to get on board with that except elites who it's not going to impact.
You know, with respect to the districts, you know, I think there's 24 seats that we need to get in the House. There's certain districts, I think 22 of them, you know, can go either way, but they involve people that feel like they've been left out of the process. You know, the Democratic support in those districts has gone down. So yes, the Democrats have to make a calculation to be a little bit, let's say, you know, if the issue is that they're too
a little bit more moderate.
Yeah, right. If the issue is that they're leaning to too much, to more of the Sanders versus the Hillary position, then they're going to have to modify. I think it just depends on where they're located.
And Adam, I hate to cut this short, but we are out of time. They're yelling at me once again, so I got to go. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Liz.
All right.